Hello again and welcome to my channel. This tutorial is for crochet buttons. I made some buttons to go on a braided scarf, the cowl type, because I couldn't find the right size button in the right colour for the cowl that I made. So I decided to make my own buttons, and I've had a few requests to do a tutorial video to show how it's done. The size of the button will depend on the hook that you use. This particular one here I've made using a 6.5mm hook, and as you can see it's quite a bit bigger than the other ones that we've got there. I'm going to use a 5.5mm hook for the one that I'm going to show you now. You'll need a hook, some yarn. The yarn weight that I've used on this one is Aran, an Aran weight, but you can make these buttons in any yarn that you've got that you need a crochet button. If you're using a double knit, I would suggest that you go down to possibly a 3.5mm hook. The hook size does need to be smaller than what you would normally use for that thickness of yarn. You'll also need a needle with a big eye, as we're going to thread the yarn through. So we'll start off with a chain of 5. I'm going to make this one in a slightly darker colour so that it's a little bit easier for you to see. So as always, we're going to start with a slip knot onto the hook. Just move those out of the way slightly. We're going to work a chain of 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We're going to join into the first chain with a slip stitch to form a circle. So there's the little circle that we've got there. We're now going to work doubles. These are in US terms. We're going to work doubles into this center ring here. The first double will be a 3 chain. That counts as the first stitch, and then we're now going to work another 15 doubles into that same circle. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At this point you might have to just pull the stitches round so that we can get all of the stitches in there. So we've got the 3 chain, and I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need to do another 5. So we've got 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So that should give me 16 stitches altogether. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Sorry, I need to do the last one. That's 16. I'm going to join into the top of that first 3 chain with a slip stitch and pull through. We now need to close the circle in the middle. So I'm just going to thread the yarn onto the needle, and I'm going to run the thread under the stitches. You don't need to pull through all of the stitches. This is just to tighten up the circle there in the middle, so when you look from the right side we've not got a gap. Just pull that loop slightly bigger and take the hook out. So once you've gone around those stitches and pull tight, could have actually left that a little bit longer, but it'll be okay, and then just fasten off. And this is on the wrong side here that we're doing the, so just go through the stitches a couple of times just to secure that starting tail of yarn there, and we've got a nice and tight centre to the button. We're now ready for the second row. Just pop the hook back into the yarn. For this second row now, we're going to work double crochet two together. So for the first half of the stitch, I'm just going to do 2 chain and then yarn over into the next stitch and pick up a loop, and we go yarn over and through 2. That's going to leave 2 loops on the hook, and then we yarn over and pull through both loops. That's crocheted the 2 together. We're going to do the same now all the way around. So into the next stitch, pick up a loop, yarn over and through 2, but don't do the second half of the double. Yarn over into the next stitch, pick up a loop, yarn over and through 2. That leaves 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3, and then again the same over the next 2 stitches. So into the stitch, pick up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over into the stitch, pick up a loop, yarn over through 2, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So we just carry on around exactly the same way. We're going to do this 8 times all together. So into the stitch, pick up a loop through 2, into the next stitch, pick up a loop, yarn over through 2, and then yarn over and through all 3. Because we had 16 stitches to start with and we're now working 2 stitches together, you'll actually do this 8 times all together. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've come round to the last 2 stitches. We're going to do the same again, working a double 2 together over those last 2 stitches. And then we're going to join into the top of the first double 2 together, which is here. We're going to join into the top of that stitch with a slip stitch. So we now need to cut off a long length of yarn, and we're going to pull the yarn through that stitch. So you can see that the button's actually folded over, and we've got a smaller circle here at the back. So we're going to thread the yarn through the needle, and it does need to be a big eye needle to take the yarn, and then we're going to sew from front to back into each of the stitches all the way around. So there's one, that's the second one, front to back again. The third one, front to back, and pull tight as you're working around, front to back, and pull tight, front to back again, and pull tight, front to back, on the 7th one, and then onto the final one again we do the same thing front to back. So that's pulled in the circle on the back there, and then we just need to over sew the little hole that's left in the centre. Do that a few times just to fasten off, and then on the last one put the needle through the loop and pull tight, and that will fasten off. If you leave this tail of yarn now, you can use that to actually sew the button on to the garment that you've made. If you want it to be a bigger, puffier button, you can put stuffing inside it, but I think that they're actually okay just as they are to stitch on, especially if you're using them for these scarves, because the button will fit nicely through that last loop there and sit as the fastener on the bottom. I've actually got a tutorial, a video, well there's more than one, for these braided scarves. I've got the 3 braided scarf as a video, and then I've done a smaller child size that's only got the 2 braids on, that's done in a double knit, and I will do another tutorial for this particular one that's an Aran weight, but just the 2 braids, because sometimes the 3 braids are a little bit wide for some ladies. So I hope you found this tutorial useful. I hope you'll be able to make your own buttons using yarn. It's quite a simple method and it looks quite effective. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.